So I wanted to get this off my chest just real quick. Jungkook released his album and nobody said nothing. Like, I know I don't care about boy groups. I know I don't care about male soloists. And I know y'all know that I don't care about BTS, but it's just like with Jimin, y'all wanted me to talk about it. With V, but nothing for Jungkook? That's kind of crazy. I got a question though. First, no, let's rewind. I didn't listen to it. I did my usual skim and I wasn't hearing much. Let me go see which ones I hearted. The only one that I saved was Somebody, but I know there was another song that I liked. It was probably Standing Next to You or Yes or No. It was real early on. The rest of those, 3D is better than it was when I first heard it. I still love is a strong word, but I do love 7 and 3D. But I have a question though. First, I have a few questions. One, why are we letting Troye Sivan outdo us? Like, I don't even like Troye Sivan because it's not clear if he's a Zionist or whatever. He's also South African, so it's just like I really cannot vibe with you just based off of that alone. But it's just like his 2 songs, Rush, which I don't even like, and the other one that used that one sample, like those are much better and much more main pop boy centered songs. And like I heard great reviews for the album. Not gonna tune into it, but like the clips that I saw, they were cute. So it's just like, you're letting Troye Sivan, a former YouTuber whose music wasn't even good when he was on YouTube, to even launch his career like that, you're letting him outdo you. And you're from the biggest boy band ever. Are you not embarrassed? Like, this is so lame. I hate all the BTS solos because it's just like, I was tuned in for One Direction solo debuts and I didn't even like One Direction. Like, Harry Styles got me with Sign of the Times. I didn't like Pillow Talk like that, but it was cute. Liam, the rest of them was kind of lame, but like some of them had good songs. With these boys from the biggest boy group of our time, and this is what you're giving us, some snoozers. I guess. And then 2, so when 7 came out, I feel like people compared it to like Charlie Puth or whatever, but I also heard like Justin Timberlake in there. And when I said that, I got a few comments that were like, no, this is more like Craig David. And it's like, okay, I get the UK Garage comparison, but it's just like, where is the Craig David in this? Like, I'm not hearing it. I don't get that comparison. Can somebody in simple terms explain it to me outside of the UK Garage sound? Like, let me show you how it, I don't know. Like, okay, with Pink Panthers and New Jeans, that's more of a clear connection to me. But y'all saying Craig David 7 sounds like or reminds you of 7 by Jungkook, and I just don't get that comparison. Besides that, you know, they talk about the same thing fucking every day. And then Craig David is an artist that did UK Garage and stuff like that. It's just like, outside of that, what else? Like, because the song doesn't sound like anything like Craig David did. Like, that's why the Justin Timberlake comparison makes more sense to me. That's just me. What about y'all? I don't get it. Somebody please explain it to me. Anyway, that's about it. Yeah. Uneventful. And he got 11 songs. That's kind of crazy because the other BTS boys got like 5. And it's just like, you would expect that if he got more, like, we were really putting our all into this one. And I mean, hey, he got the Jack Harlow and Lotto features. It's just like, this is the best we could do. Like, I'd rather go listen to V. I'd rather go listen to, what is it, Like Crazy? Low key, I'm more of a fan of V, just because I knew he was gonna do the R&B route, but it's just like, damn, you really can't even sing, so like, what's the point? Like, he's kind of my Mariah Scientist, because the bird makes good music sometimes, and Singularity did it for me in 2018, 2019, whatever. That's not what was I even talking about before I said that? Oh yeah, low-key, I was more excited for Jimin, but not Jimin. I was more excited for V to debut, but when that failed, it was like, okay, Jungkook, you're the last one that's really gonna do it for me. And he didn't. Like, I'll give him his 10s for 3D and 7, but other than that, the album wasn't good. And again, Troye Sivan is better, and that's... Are you not embarrassed? I'm not gonna hold y'all. I didn't think Suja would come back, but y'all won. Like, y'all won. And what this shows me is that there is still hope for Garam. Like, keep up that campaign. Like, trust one day Garam might be back. She might be the 5th gen it girl. She might be the soloist that just ends unbe. Like, I don't know. Or y'all might get what y'all really want with that Chu, Garam, Jimin. Who else was in there? Like, Yuri, that collab group. Soojin, like, anything is possible. Soojin's back. That is so cute. You really can't get rid of her. Like, y'all should say that to me, because I thought we had seen the last of Soojin. But she's finally back and she's making her solo debut. Before we begin, I just wanted to say though, I did doubt her abilities as a soloist and as a member of gi-dle. I'm not gonna, I never saw what y'all saw. I really didn't. Like, I just never understood what set her apart from the other girls because I found them all to be very lackluster and mediocre. So I was actually looking forward to this debut to see if she would prove me wrong, which when I say that, people don't believe me, but I'm so genuinely serious. Like, I want to see what y'all see. I genuinely do. So her debut mini album is here. It's 6 tracks and only 14 minutes. Y'all said Tinashe grabbed back and stole K-pop's mini album formula with her BB Angel EP, which no, but at least she gave us 20 minutes of excellence. That's not the point, but still, like, what am I going to do at 14 minutes? And wasn't New Jeans is the same length, or like 12 minutes? Like, what is like, be serious. Anyway, let's begin. The title track is agassy. Don't give me the line, y'all know I'm not good with the Korean words. Anyway, it's a very nice track, kind of monotonous. There's not much to say about it because I find it very empty. There's not much happening and I don't remember it all that much. But from my notes, it has her delicate vocals. It incorporates what I assume are traditional Korean instruments over a trappy pop beat with heavy bass, which I did enjoy. Long instrumental breaks fill in between the chorus and like post-chorus and verses. It's kind of a weakness for it, especially when you watch the music video and like the choreo isn't doing all that. Like, what's the point? The song does have a typical bridge where like the instrumental clears out and we're just left with the drums, but it finally picks up after the bridge. It's not really an explosion, but it's as loud as she can get. Like I said, the song is nice, but it's just nothing special, especially for a debut title track, especially given the history of Soojin. Like, I don't know, you gotta come harder, you gotta come out, you know. Anyway, so the album starts with Flowering. It's a very cute prelude track. It's a good introduction of what to expect from this album. It has a very summery feel, which I disagree with because we're in November, but whatever. It's again summery and bouncy. I like that. Oh, despite it being like kind of bouncy though, it does have minimal production. The song is only like what, a minute, 2 minutes, so she's just kind of singing, and it features like guitar plucks, and that's pretty much it. She sings for a majority of it, and towards the end she starts vocalizing. They add some synths in here, which was really nice. It was a cute track, but it's the prelude. Like, I can't really get into it that much, you know. Sunflower is another sweet track. This one is more jazzy. Y'all know I love Adore, that's my sister. Y'all know I love Annie. I love me a musical. I love me a big production. I had my Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles era. Like, I'm gonna eat this up every time. I really love the production on this one. Yes, I did. The keyboards, the horns, like, they was doing a big one, and then the background vocal too. Like, I wish there were better vocal moments at the end because it just kind of stays flat, but I'm gonna take it for what it is and I enjoy it. But I still do wish we could start you know, using our Jennifer Hudson jaws at the end. Tai Tai is the 4th track. Do I have to bring up the Pink Panthers print, or will y'all? I think I'm gonna do it. Again, Pink Panther is his mother to these girls. In no world where Pink Panthers didn't exist would Soojin have a drum and bass track on her debut album. Be serious. Oh my god, y'all gonna piss me off. Anyway, so this one has very light vocals with like very eerie background vocals as well. It's a shuffling drum pattern, again, drum and bass. They add some keys in there which were really nice, and of course some synths as well. I love it. It's very catchy and fun. It's not hard to make an enjoyable drum and bass track, but these K-pop girls might make you think that, like, Babyana be struggling. Cool with you. I don't remember if that was drum and bass or UK Garage because again I did not listen to it, but whatever it was boring, and it shouldn't be that hard to make a good drum and bass track because I'm gonna eat it up all the time. Yeah, like I said, she ended Babyana's career with this one. This one was really good. She trying to get me, y'all. She trying to get okay, so then we move on to Sunset. I keep saying the word sweet. She got a lot of sugar in her tank. I don't know, maybe I was right. This one was really sweet and it was slow. It reminded me of Hope Tala because the production is almost bossa nova-esque. Like, I don't know, I hear it in the light plucks of the guitar, the soft percussion. Like, I was transported back to 2019 and 2020 when I first started listening to Hope Tala. But yeah, the production is really dreamy. The synths are so pretty and her voice makes it so light and lovely. This track really does show off her vocals and her range a bit more, which was a great touch to the not just the song but the album as a whole, because I was looking for that, I was waiting for it, my ears were open. Blood Red Roses is the last track. I thought this was gonna be terrible. It's kind of an ambient empty track with minimal production that she somehow manages to fill with just her emotions. Like the verses are just her, some type of piano or synth, and that's why I was like, okay, like I'm kind of bored. But the chorus becomes fuller, and then they just keep on adding vocal layering and more instruments, and it's just so soothing. But at the same time, it was really sad. Like if y'all look at the lyrics, y'all gotta tell me what it's about. But girl, I'm finna cry just thinking about it. Like, oh my god, it's perfect for when you want to look out the window and have an emotional day. Like and I think a lot of K-pop groups and soloists do struggle to make these type of emotional tracks where like the ballads are actually good and interesting, but she immediately cleared all of y'all. I will also say, don't run with this. It reminded me so much of Sully. Don't run with that, okay? Reminds me of Sully's Goblin. It would have worked so well on that little bite-sized snack that they gave us. The production, the approach she uses when she's singing, I was immediately like, oh my god, this is Sully. Like, well, overall this is a really good debut. The strengths are in its cohesion, which you would think wouldn't be hard, but okay. Production was amazing. The background vocals as well, I really did enjoy. A weakness would be the short bite-sized length. What am I going to do with 14 minutes? Another is that I wish she was able to show off her ability to sing more, because again, like I told y'all, I was doubting her, but this is good enough. This, I'm not going to speak on Soojin again, okay? I'm not going to speak on Soojin again. And then also the title track just wasn't really good. Like nobody's going to care about that song. But whatever. Still a solid debut. Like she gagged me. I don't know what to tell you. So Sumin is a Korean soloist that has worked and produced music for artists like Red Velvet, BoA, BTS, and so on. If you've watched Street Woman Fighter and its male counterpart, you've probably heard some of her songs featured in several dance battles. If you've been on this channel long enough, you've probably heard all of her SoundCloud music. I've mentioned her literally like almost every video. Like that's a lie, but I featured her a lot on this channel, especially when I first started. But she's only recently gained a lot of attention following the release of her collab album miniseries with producer Slum. The two previously worked together, but this was their first official joint effort made possible by a crowdfund. Who else was there? I should have donated. I didn't really know what was going on because I could have got a signed CD. I'm so mad. Anyway, although it was much of a slow burn, songs like Yogi Juggy and What Do You Think eventually hit the streets, becoming a Nugu sleeper hit, if you will. Since then, Sumin has released a variety of singles and collaborations, but most people were eagerly waiting for her next album or EP where she shines the brightest. Sumin's previous works, Urada, Your Home, and XX, are some of the best K-pop masterpieces to come out in the past decade. They truly sound nothing like anything that's out there, and that's what I love most about Sumin as an artist. She's one of those people that's like actually versatile, a musical chameleon who cannot be confined to a box. Sumin doesn't have a big team, company, or presence as an artist, but she still manages to provide quality bodies of work while simultaneously pushing the boundary. She's different and experimental. She'll never give you the same thing twice, but it will always feel like a Sumin project. So with this era, she didn't release a lot of teasers for the album, but that's usually the case anyway. However, based on the little that we got, I knew where this album would take us. Although she, again, like I said, can't be confined to a box, she's different, she's experimental. I would say her music does exist on a spectrum. One side is subdued, typically like R&B, while the other is eclectic, electronic, out of this world, elevated club music, like the weirdest thing that you can imagine. So I just knew that we were gonna get something a bit more laid back, which was a nice change of pace given that the pandemic brought us some of her most experimental music yet. However, as for the more casual listener, I feared the response to this. I can already feel the snooze fest allegations when I was looking at the photos. I think most people will come into this project expecting expecting something similar to miniseries, specifically Yuggy Juggy, but again, that's just not something that she really does. So with that being said, let's dive into her latest work, Sichimi. Sichimi. Late Morning is the first track. It begins with a piano, some vocalizing. The keys continue as the sound of a ticking clock helps set the mood of the track. Once the chorus hits, the song continues to build, creating this grand sound almost with the incorporation of strings. From here, it transitions into a more R&B track with the drop of the bass, and production is really hard hitting while still maintaining the piano and strings it introduced initially. This song is really beautiful. She had me in the first half though. I thought it would be a snoozer, but it just gets more enjoyable as the track continues. Very sweet sounding as well. Sumin can really sing. I don't think that's emphasized enough when it comes to her music. There's vocals hidden under there, like get into her. The second track, Closet, features the legendary Jungkook. I honestly didn't know what to expect for this. Jungkook is like the queen of Europop and Euro dance, but after her hiatus, she kind of transitioned more into like the queen of retro, and then she released some singles that were all over the place and kind of terrible. So I was really excited to hear what they would come up with, like what was the genre gonna be, what were we gonna do, and how is this gonna fit into the R&B subdued sound I was expecting. The final result was something very reminiscent of Sumin's first full-length album, Your Home, as well as her song Love Is Strange. Similar to those tracks, I feel like I exist on a different planet in a completely different universe. The lush production, bouncy synthesizers, odd and wonky top line, and its inherent experimental nature just creates something so dreamy and trippy to me. Like there's a specific synth that she uses, and every time I hear it, it's like in the Get Out movie where they do the little cup thing. That's what it is for me. Like I'll immediately start sinking, and like I don't know what to tell you. And you know, I do say this a lot, but it did remind me so much of late 90s, early 2000s music. I don't know, the way that it's produced, it reminds me of the little transition sound in But I'm a Cheerleader. Like that's exactly what it feels like transition music, or just like random instrumentals that you'd hear in a movie from that period. And I know that I'm right with my comparison because that's what she pulls from a lot. Anyway, this was a really great track, and Jungkook sounds amazing. Together they made a really great song. I really love this song. Track 3, Nunchi, is another slow R&B track. It starts off kind of light, just her voice and some heavy bass, and then she slowly incorporates electronic elements into the track. She plays with it a bit here, like it comes and it goes. You don't know what to expect. Like at some points I'm expecting her to like drop the entire instrumental, and at other points I'm thinking she'd like blow up with it and like explode into an electronic sound. But I don't know, the way that it happens though, it just creates this ambient sound in me. Although I was focused on the production for most of the listen, once I tapped into them vocals, girl, I loved it. Like I really love Sumin's voice on this track. She does this thing often where she somewhat slurs her words, and it's a very uninterested approach that she makes sound so cool and fun. Whereas if it was a male R&B, or not even R&B, but if it was a male rapper on like a female R&B singer's song, you know how they get to slurring and they sound terrible? She doesn't do that because she's talented. She knows what she's doing. Like I really like this one. Next is Human Theater featuring Sungwoo Jungga, who's another artist I've enjoyed in the past. I said it on my retro spring, but Sumin often posts a lot of the music that she listens to. Sometimes it'll be the most obscure artist that you've ever encountered. Other times it's more experimental tracks or just like instrumental things. But my favorite one that she shares are typically the black artists that she enjoys. If I remember correctly, she's posted Stevie Wonder, Janet Jackson, the Isley Brothers. Like she's a true student of soul, funk, and R&B, and within the K-hip hop R&B culture vulture world, that's what separates her as an artist for me. Like on this track you can really hear those influences come through, not as strongly on a song like Sparkling, but here it's still there, you know. Human Theater is an R&B track with a late 90s type feel to it. It reminds me so much of The Internet, the group. The bass guitar on this song is so good and it's so groovy. But then the synths in the background make it sound ethereal, almost like more in line with someone like Men I Trust. A highlight in this track are the background vocals and the ad-libs performed by both Sumin and Sungwoo Jungga towards the end of the song. and I really like the ending of the song as well because it becomes really bouncy. Like, it also reminds me of Beanie. She does this well as well. Like, their tracks are really bouncy, but you still feel that 90s influence, that early 2000s R&B influence. I really love how they work with their instrumentals. Airplane features Men, PH1 and Otis Slim. I'm not even gonna do too much because I do like PH1 sometimes. He has a few songs that I like. And you know, at the end of the day, their features don't compromise the integrity of this song, thank God. I really like the production. It's another subdued yet groovy R&B track with sounds pulled from the 90s. I really like the laser sound effects in the background. It was really cute. I live for like a video game moment in production. This one's a really easy listen. I don't really have much else to say about it. It was nice. With Kiki, Sumin returns to her more electronic sound, but it doesn't deviate far from the established mood and feel of this album. Those interesting synths are back, and I'm once again transported to another planet. She spends the beginning portion singing random words. To be honest, I don't know what she was saying, before incorporating like some vocalizing. And then the first verse comes in and she's using the uninterested, too cool to be here voice of hers, and I love it. The middle section though, this is where it's at for me. This is where we really break out with that odd electronic production. It's eclectic. Like, the song begins to pick up in speed, and we get these fast drums and different synths that like trickle throughout the instrumental. It's so cute. As for the rest of the song, she just goes back to the vocalizing and whatnot, and it's still really enjoyable, but I love the middle section. Yeah, but this is a really good song too. Before I share my final thoughts, can I just say I love this album cover. The red hair is back, her best look, and it should stay. But more importantly, the green is so cute, and I love the contrast between the colors. Like, don't let me get in my creative direction bag. Like, anyway, it's a really nice album cover. She just doesn't know how to miss it visually. Like, there's not one album cover of hers where I was like, we could have done without this. Like, no, she eats it up every time. This EP is a very solid effort, but we expected literally nothing less. It's short with only 6 tracks, and I know that for some people that'll be like, we need more, but I feel full from this. I didn't need anything more. I was literally satisfied by the end. I was like, yep, let's wrap it up. You did that. Although I did compare some songs to her previous works, namely Your Home, I feel like she doesn't really have another album that sounds like this. Like, you can definitely hear it in there, but like, this doesn't even sound like Your Home in its entirety. This doesn't sound like XX in its entirety, and it damn sure doesn't sound like Ooh Da Da, which is really good. Don't take that as shade. Anyway, I really love that she still managed to incorporate that electronic sound in here, but it was still R&B enough for me. You know, it's November, it's December, it's fall winter vibes. Like, she's eating. My favorite tracks are Closet and Human Theater, maybe even Nanchi. Like, I don't know, all these tracks are really good songs to choose from. So let me know what y'all think, how y'all are feeling. Give my girl her 5 stars, Lee. Okay, so Kiss of Life, I stand with Hot Issue. So I was gonna ignore this comeback until the end of the month, but y'all wanted me to talk about it, so I guess I'll talk about it or whatever. I feel like after Hot Issue, see how I'm getting them mixed up? Not Hot Issue. I feel like after Kiss of Life debuted is what I was supposed to say. I learned that there's nothing here for me, you know? So that, just based on their aesthetic, their creative direction, like, it's just kind of boring, and then the music as well was really even worse outside of Natty's solo. So I was just like, y'all could keep it, like, y'all got it, like, bring back Hot Issue for me. So I really wasn't looking forward to this. Well, that's kind of a lie, because I wanted to see what direction they would take this era, because I mean, you go look at their debut, and although people did like the title track, the clear highlight from that was Natty's solo. So I wanted to see, like, okay, is the title track, are we gonna give you that 90s feel, is it gonna be R&B? Like, what are we gonna do? And then for the rest of the B-sides, like, don't put no rock on there. Like, I wanted to know how they were gonna approach this era. So Badness is the title track. Okay, let's just start with our review of it. Okay, so it kind of ended all the southern country Wild Wild West inspired K-pop releases like Le Seraphim found dead in a ditch, no pulse, like ooh, y'all got ended bad, itzy not shy, you're nothing, like I don't know what to tell you. And like what really makes this one good is that it actually has a bit of twang to it. Like if you live in Texas you listen to the radio, you've probably heard the song I'm From Texas or whatever it's called by Big X The Plug. Who knows it? Bitch, I'm from Texas where we still ride and swing cause and put diamonds in our necklace. Like it was given that. I don't know what to tell you. The spirit of Selena, Beyonce, and Megan Thee Stallion was in the room. They used them as a vessel. Like it was coming through. It also kind of reminds me of No Diggity, which we could connect to the 90s hip hop. You know, I'm gonna get there in a second. And yeah, that all of that makes it stands out. So it's like the blues approach to the southern country Wild Wild West inspired K-pop. But they also have this section where it's like 90s hip hop in like the second half of the song. That's how I could connect it to see how they were gonna approach this era, and I really like it. Like again, it reminds me of No Diggity by Blackstreet. So they did that with the 90s thing. Another standout is the really strong vocals on this one. Yeah, they ate that up, and then the song also has a really nice groove to it as well. Why is there an English version? Nobody asked for that. Keep the Korean. Go ahead and keep the Korean for me. This ain't your time for the English debut. Thank you. As for the album, I didn't really listen to it. I just did a quick little run through, so let's do that. You'll get a better review at the end of the month probably. So the first one is Nobody Knows. This one is also 90s groove inspired feel. I don't know, it once again had nice vocals, really cute track, nice. I'll probably come back to it. I don't know. My 808 is a disgrace. Anytime that you mention an 808 in a song or whatever, like you have to make it the greatest shit ever. But this one was just decent. Like why name it My 808 and it's kind of mid? Like I don't like that. TTG I think is a Moombahton beat. I don't know how to pronounce the girl. I don't even know if that's the exact genre. Regardless, I was getting Latina or island girl. Like that's the vibes of the song. I only know 3 Fifth Harmony songs, but it does give them. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm lying. Like it sounds like Fifth Harmony to me. It's nice. I just want to come back to it though. Gentleman was giving me 3rd Gen at first, but the vocal slayage turned it into a full-on Red Velvet song for me. Like this one was really cute, and then the last song is called Says It. Skipped immediately as soon as I heard the pluck of the guitar. Girl, do not waste my time. Do not play with me. Anyway, that's all. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.